I have the same invoices with 3 different purchase orders, where we have 3 types of differences on their price differences. So I'll start with the first one, which we see here. I'm going to show you what we actually do. So I open this one up. If I press Save and Process, the voucher will be created, because this is an application in which individuals can make changes or additions if needed. So what do we see here? First of all, on top, we have made this transaction or action eligible for voucher match automation. So that's a certain type of process. So this means that we can automatically match an invoice against a purchase order and or receipt based on 2-way or 3-way match. Typically, a purchase order number is associated with this, some amounts, but also line items. So we capture the line items from the invoice, and what is needed at least is the quantity, the price, and typically in some matching scenarios also item, a number, name, or a line number. We are going to match it against a certain automation rule, which we combine with specifics on amount thresholds. So what I have here in front of me is one invoice with a relative small difference between the purchase order in case of price and the invoice. Because we are in JD Edwards, I can also immediately show you that difference, because here we see what we captured from the invoice, but we can also look at the so-called purchase order lines. Then you see here that we have a difference of 8. And what we have prompted here is that in certain scenarios related to these types of procurement or purchasing, we have 3 types of differences that we have. We have small cost differences, for example, up until $10. We have medium cost ones, for example, between $10 and $100, and we have big cost difference above $100. So for those, we have created 3 different scenarios on pushing it through. So in this particular case, the $8 variance will be automatically processed because we have said this is something which we auto approve. So I will show that. So by pressing Save and Process or Start Automation in the previous screen, this action will be taken care of. So it will flow through those statuses that it actually needs to flow through. It tries to match it. It looks at the rules that we have set, and it ends here. When I look at this invoice again, we will see that a voucher is created. Here, an ordinary voucher as that you and me would create by doing it manually. The pay status is approved. But when I zoom into the approvals, here, right mouse click and look at the approvals, we'll be able to see in the audit trail here that in this particular case, it was a auto approval amount below the approval limit. So we keep also track on what the automation does. We also put the eventual decision and audit trail into the audit trail tables. Yeah. The second scenario that we are going to have a look at, 77 purchase order, that has a amount which we call like a medium difference. So I can also show you that here. So there's a difference of $20. And if I process this, then there will be a different type of approvals for these price differences. So when I press again, Save and Process, it will flow through the statuses. Okay, and we see here tolerance single approval. So we have a different status for that. When I do the right mouse click and I look at the approvals here, then we will see that there is one person, or actually one position, one role, that needs to approve this $20 difference, which we see here. And that didn't require any additional activity from me, because again, the automation has picked this one up and just pushes it through, because we have said this is a medium cost difference, but still needs to go through an approval before we are going to make this invoice eligible for payment. I can also show that, again, right mouse click from the voucher point of view. So when we look at the voucher, we see here that the voucher is still created, but that the pay status is on hold. It's not eligible for payment because it has to flow through this person before it is actually approved. The approvals just flow through the standard mobile application, email notifications, and/or a desktop application. Then the final scenario. This is a scenario where there is a bigger problem or price difference, and I will show you that as well. That's the one that we see here. When I open this up, we will see the same again, but just to have a closer look, the PO lines actually have 120. So this by itself will create another problem, which will be pushed through a workflow again. So when I say save and process and do find, so it goes through those statuses again, tries to match it. It validates that there is a problem in this particular case, and we see here that it has a different status, tolerance approval creation. So we have said here, well, this is such a big challenge or problem that someone needs to manage status 745 before it goes into a flow. So when I open this transaction up again, then a user needs to perform an action so that he or she can make a decision on where this needs to go to. So this could be someone on the AP department which needs to manage this, but when he or she goes in, she can look at he or she on the real approval hierarchies that you need to choose. So for example, here we have a demo flow which could include one or more persons to get it approved. But also here at the end, you see that we are writing a so-called cost variance. This is not the only thing that we can write, because when we look at this one here, we can also create exchange rate variances or additional cost line variances, for example, for freight. So this one is really related to, for example, the items that have been procured with a tolerance problem, and the others are more from different types of variances that occur. When an individual actually approves it, they can just push it into the workflow, and then you see here the status is changed into a tolerance approval, right mouse click, and then we can see that this one is again into an approval hierarchy. The amount threshold was only $120, so this is why it's also with one individual. If you would have had a higher amount threshold, it would flow through the rest of the hierarchy if applicable.